Welcome everyone to the very first Herp Monday video. That's right. People have been asking, doing a lot of requests on the stream, asking about this animal or that animal. However, they are reptiles and amphibians and not fish. And because of that, I have started Herp Monday. Herpetology is the study of amphibians and reptiles, so that is why it's called Herps. So let's get into it. The very first one we have today is a very special one and known by many people across the world, and that is the axolotl. The axolotl is incredible. It is an amphibian. It is not a reptile. So axolotl, Ambystomba mexicanum. That is the scientific name of this. This is commonly known as the Mexican walking fish. It was originally found in Lake Chalco and Lake, I'm going to butcher this and I apologize, Xochimilco. Lake Xochimilco in Mexico City, or around Mexico City. Mexico City was built on that lake. Lake Chalco does not exist anymore, so the only place that these are found native is in the other lake at Mexico City, living in the canal system. These salamanders mature somewhere between 18 and 24 months. That's when they reach sexual maturity. Most of the time, they seem to live between 6 and 7 years. However, they have been documented living well over 10, possibly up to 15 years, maybe even a little bit longer. They range in length from about 15 to 45 centimeters, 6 to 18 inches. Good afternoon, cheese. 6 to 18 inches is your average length. However, you're more commonly going to find them around the 9 to 10 inches long. As you can see, they have a very wide head, and they do not have eyelids. These are lidless eyes. And you can see these 3 pairs of external gill stalks. There's another way to look at them. And then behind these gill stalks are actually 4 gill slits with hidden gill rakers. So as you can tell, these are aquatic. So relatively nice transition from Fish Friday. They do have 4 pigmentation genes. You have your leucistic pigmentation, which that's super pale bodied with black eyes. Then you have your albino, which is your more traditional albino, no pigmentation with golden eyes or pink eyes. Then you have your axanthic, which that's your more common wild type looking, olive green, dabbled, little spots here and there, but kind of your more modeled appearance. And then you have the melanistic, which I couldn't find a different picture from this, but just a real black, dark. Even this one isn't true melanistic, or melanoid, I guess. But it's definitely up there. Now, something to note from these are a neotenic salamanders. So salamanders, when they hatch from an egg, they actually look like this. They look like a very small version of this. But they go through a larval stage. Sort of like you can think of a tadpole with a frog. A tadpole is the larval stage of an adult frog. Well, these are basically the larval stage of what are the of the tiger salamanders or the mole salamanders, but all the Ambystomatidae. But these are neotenic, and what I mean by that is neoteny or neoteny is they reach sexual maturity without undergoing metamorphosis. So the best way I can describe this, it would be as if a tadpole got sexually mature but never transitioned into a frog. So if these did, and these can transform into a adult, but it is very uncommon and it has to be forced through certain situations. when they have a similar appearance to this, which is the Mexican plateau salamander or Mexican tiger salamander. This the barred tiger salamander is very common in North America, and they have their larval stage that does have these gill rakers, this larval stage. But the axolotl actually stays in this underdeveloped limbs, things like that. Something that's really neat about these is the mating dance that the axolotls have. So when it is breeding time and they breed once a year, the males will court a female by coming up to it and rubbing it, seeing if she's ready, she's in the mood, and if she is, then they'll start doing a little waltz around each, just a little dance. And if the male thinks that this is a good mate and the female agrees, the male will actually get up on its hind legs and start strutting away while wiggling his tail or shimmying his tail, walking away, strutting away, and, look at me. And the female will follow him. And when they start walking step in step, the male will drop a spermatophore. The spermatophore is think of a small egg, but of sperm. And it's held by it's held in a casing. And the female, walking step in step, essentially scoops it up. And that is how they mate. Pretty neat. Something to note, as of 2010, wild axolotls were very near extinction, and they still are to this day very, very close to extinction. This is a combination from water pollution, because remember, Mexico City sits on top of the lake, and the lake has been drained and kind of converted into just a canal system. But with Mexico City basically being on top of their habitat, there's a lot of water pollution going on, things like that. And there's also a lot of introduction of invasive species that just love to eat these. Tilapia and perch just being two. Now, Mexico City is working on conserving axolotls because they are building shelters and trying to conserve habitat, removal of invasive species. It's just an uphill battle, really tough. Now, to note that many people have heard of these before and seen them because they are very, very popular in the pet trade, which is kind of a conservation conundrum. Not only are they popular in the pet trade, but they are very common in medical research laboratories because, like many other animals out there, especially reptiles and amphibians, they have regenerative powers. They have regenerative abilities. You cut off a leg and they'll grow their leg back. But something that's kind of unique about the axolotl is that they'll grow back bones, they'll grow back heart muscle, they'll grow back large chunks of flesh, just things that are not really that regenerative in a human. So they are being studied very much for their regeneration abilities. They are also 1,000 times less likely to get cancers. So there's a lot of research going into them in terms of cancer research. But pet trade is where most people have heard of these. And as I said, it makes a conservation conundrum because this is possibly the most widely distributed amphibian in the world in domestic trade, both from pet trade and from medical research trade. And yet it is almost extinct in the wild. So kind of makes you think, what do you do? Do you still list them as endangered because there's so many of them? Well, you got to kind of look into that. And I don't want to make any judgment on that. But thank you guys so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you again. I hope you enjoyed this first Herp Monday. I know I did. Leave a comment Leave a comment down below if you could. Please leave a like and subscribe. Looks like we're just starting another series. We're now on Herp Mondays and Fish Fridays. If you have a suggestion, please let me know. Or if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much again. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and peace.